Yeah, like regardless, like Armani, he has really solid ZvZ. We did see he just 2-0 DRG, right? Like
Exactly.
earlier today in this same tournament. So regardless, like even though I would say that Solar is the better well-rounded player, specifically in a certain matchup in a ZvZ, like Armani, he's solid as well.
Exactly. He has, I think, consistently been one of the few players, or rather I should say, he's been one of the few players who consistently has been able to take out Sue in a ZvZ. And that doesn't happen that much often.
Yeah, exactly. Like Armani, he has so much going for him. He's on a Freak of Freaks. He's the most stylish of all the players, period, out there. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how he shapes up here against Solar. Again, like when it comes to Zerg play, for whatever reason, I haven't seen that much from Solar. It's again, I guess because of the state of how things are, and you know, GSL, once a player gets knocked out, they're done, so you don't get to see them too often. I'm just really curious to see how Solar does here and how Armani compares. I could be wrong, but has Armani, if you remember, has he won like an ESL Asia Cup?
He's been to the finals, at least.
Yeah, like he's
I
a
don't think
regular.
he's won one, but he's made it to either the finals or semifinals, or potentially both.
Yeah, as we are setting up, and I'm just double checking. He has won once. Sorry, twice.
Why am I sleeping so much on Armani?
Yeah. Both times ZVP.
Why am I sleeping so much on my boy?
Yeah, in the most recent one, ESL Open Cup 25, he was able to take down Trap in the finals.
Jesus. Why am I sleeping on my boy?
I don't know, but he 3-0 Trap.
He 3-0 Trap!
Yeah, I remember casting that actually, because I remember you were going into it, and you were like on the Trap hype chain, like, yeah, Gemini, you know, he's good. And I'm like, yo, Gemini, he's not here, okay? He's not cheering for his boy.
I remember that week you really wanted to start that beef with Gemini.
Look, I'm just saying, Armani 3-0 Trap. This is what I'm saying.
Like, he 3-0 Solar. Gemini was there though to cheer for his boy when Trap won one.
That's true. That did happen. I think that was the only time Trap won one. So, like,
Gemini, like the second time or something.
Yeah, Gemini, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be there to support his player.
Yes, to give him the energy. But yep.
Yeah, here we have none of those Protoss players. We are getting into a ZvZ Finals best of 5.
Best of 5. We're in. And we're going to start that best of 5 on Ice and Silent Chrome LE. We're in the top right-hand corner map, sweating all the way in the top right-hand corner map. We have the Red Zerg coming down from the land of South Korea. He is representing KZ Gaming, KZG. We have Solar. I forgot all of the nicknames that we have for Solar.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, Yaku. Where the rains be at?
Land out. Oh, Africa.
Representing Africa Freaks as well as Africa TV, it is the most stylish Zerg player of them all. Player period, really. It is Armani.
All right.
Tiger stole my baby? Question mark?
No, that was SOS.
Oh, that's Juno Green Wings. That's Juno Green Wings.
Yeah.
All right. But so far, we are getting into this ZvZ and pretty standard openers at the moment. Do you recall? Did we have nicknames for Solar? Is that a thing? Solar Panel.
Potentially. Solar Panel, but it's not really a nickname.
True.
It's just like a word that I throw in at the end of the intro just to be like, aha. It's just something I say. It's one of many things that I just say. Look, I learned that when casting, just throw words out, and actually just in general, having conversation with someone, throw the words out. Eventually, something's gonna stick.
So eventually, you'll make sense at some point. Yeah. Whether they continue to listen through everything else is the other question.
That's up to them.
It is. But at the moment, the openers are actually pretty similar, pretty identical. We do see Armani coming out with a couple of Lings, but again, just two for scouting. You know, nothing too crazy, as they are leaving the base, heading across the map. And yeah, we're just going to be getting to a slower one here.
Yeah, I mean, we are in the first series of this best of 5. We are also on Ice and Chrome, which is a nice big macro map, so yeah, both our players just trying to suss one another out. As you said earlier, especially for Solar, they are players who like to react to what their opponents do and how they like to play. And yeah, for now they're just being standard to see if they can work out any quirks that in one another's playstyle.
Yeah, and surprisingly, up until now, still the exact same openers. Like, they both got their Bailey Nest at around the same time. Nice micro here.
They're almost exactly the same, but yeah, Solar ended up getting the better end of that trait there.
Oh my god, I literally mirrors right now, these two Zerg players. My god. So, yeah, again, what was surprising to me is that, again, they both got the Bailey Nest at the same time, so pretty defensive, or, like, you can use it offensively as well, but yeah, so far being pretty passive. Now, finally, we have a little bit of divergence. We have Armani throwing down that Evo chamber.
Just before Solar throws his own, yeah.
All right. I'm just waiting for, like, who's gonna get the lair first, who's gonna take the gases first, who's gonna go into Roach War, and at the moment they're
basically playing ZvZ chicken right now. That's what they're doing. They're saying, "Hey, why don't you come to me?"
Who's gonna flinch first?
Yeah. Well, it looks like Armani, at the very least, isn't going to be the one to flinch, as he's working out. Son of a.
I was about to say, because Armani's Evo was a little bit, like, earlier, so he started +1 range a little bit earlier. It's only by a couple of seconds, though, so I don't know if it matters too much. Again, here we go. Both players, they threw down their Roach Warrens, but Armani, with the faster lair, Solar a little bit behind.
Yeah, this time by a bit of a larger margin.
So really, like, if you're a Zerg player in the chat and you're watching and you're looking for, like, how do I play a ZvZ? Like, this is typically how you want to play it out. The problem is that, especially like in lower leagues, like, players they're a lot more aggressive. Like, this is like how you just macro up. Like, literally nothing has happened here. They've just been sending a couple of links to each other here and there. Like, no one's tried to apply pressure at the third base. No one's gone all in or anything. They're just chilling.
Yeah, every time you send a link out, it is only to scout and confirm that they are literally the same person.
Exactly. They're just doing a couple of double takes here in the mirror, trying to see if anyone flinches, if anyone messes up a little bit. No, yes, you are indeed my reflection. And okay, again, Armani, he's the first player to get Roach Speed, but again, that's because he was also the first player to get Lair.
Oh, we have a deviation line.
Oh, wow.
5.5 minutes in.
What a madman. Look at that. Throws down not just one spore, 2 spores. This guy, he's crazy.
He's waiting for that muta switch.
Yeah, so this is kind of inefficient. he's throwing down spores for not really much value. In saying that, Solar, surprisingly, he's actually creating a
Dropper Lord. Interesting. Taking a page off of Vivid here.
Yeah.
He does have to be a little bit careful about how he does this, though. Armani has some impeccable Overlord spread.
Yeah, the Overlord spread is pretty good to Armani. He will be spotting this Dropper Lord. Whether or not he actually spots it, though, is the big question. And, I mean, I think we're lucky that the OCE, like, time zone is pretty similar to that of Korea. So Solar, he does tune into the stream quite often. I've seen him redeem, like, a couple of duck hats every now and then. You know, he enjoys seeing Vivid Dab, I've seen. So, yeah. We have Solar coming in here with this drop.
I don't think Armani saw the Dropper Lord. He saw it and he thought it was just a normal Overlord, which tends to happen quite a bit.
Does. Yeah, and somehow, some way, Solar has been able to sneak into the main base. The Banelings are here, and how much damage is going to be done? God.
Starting to move in, dodging a lot. The drone's actually lining up perfectly there. 10 drones going down just like that. Just like that, Light.
My god. And look, I don't want to call it this early because literally that's the only thing that's happened this game. But the problem is in the ZvZ, in a mirror matchup in general, like taking damage like that, it hurts so much because you're a mirror, right, to your opponent. Like you're both doing the exact same thing. You have the same tools, and when you lose 10 workers like that, it can be so difficult to catch up. Like Armani, he is caught up in the workers, but like that's a bunch of lava that was just wasted. Meanwhile, Solar, he's taking this opportunity to tech up. He's already got the infestation pit. He's working on Hive. He's working on Hydras. Meanwhile, Armani, he's going for Aspire, but Solar, he's already ready for the mutas. He got those spores.
Did in fact get those spores. He was just thinking 10 steps ahead of us. Like, you know why he got the spores? You know why he was expecting the muta switch? Because he was looking to force the muta switch.
Exactly. He knew, I'm going for this drop. This drop is going to deal damage. It's going to force Armani to go into those mutalists, and I'm already ready for it. I'm 10 steps ahead.
I'm 10 steps ahead, and he doesn't even know what game we're playing.
He doesn't even know that I'm part cat.
I don't like to imagine me and my kids on his shoulder there.
Exactly. He's somehow related. He's a descendant.
Solar about to be trapped into a corner.
Ooh.
But that's why I should make it out. Yeah, Armani
really
sets ahead the lower army supply there. Did not want to risk that.
Exactly, but really nice files, able to shave off a couple of roaches of Solar. But again,
a couple more of them land, and yeah, as long as Armani isn't, is paying attention to the engagement, to the potential concave, he could try to force engagement, maybe get a base and back off.
Yeah, again, the problem is that I have to favor Solar a little bit because I favor his tech. Like, he's going to Hydra, Lurker, Viper. Meanwhile, Armani going to that Spire Hive play, and it's quite late. Like, his Hive is so delayed in comparison.
Problem is, though, I don't see a Hydralisk scout.
Exactly. Like, Armani, he could try and end the game just based off of pure Roach Ravager if Solar doesn't get any Hydras out in time.
But that is definitely a big if. Solar, he knew he had defender's advantage, so he split off a couple of his forces to go for this harass. Trying to force Armani all in here, but will it backfire?
And as that was happening, +2 for Armani was denied. The Evo Chamber was taken out. Armani was trying to multi-prong at multiple places at once, but Solar, he's defended on every front.
That he has, and now, once again, these realists are going to help out. But these are +2 Carapace roaches. They do take a while to get taken out. Meanwhile, the roaches of Armani forced into a retreat. That was a nice bile, but he's going to have to hit about 9 more of those to turn this game around, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that Armani, he has the Mutalist, so he's going to be able to deal with, like, the Overlords and force Solar to go back. Like, he can't attack with Roach Ravager, but it's too late. Solar, he already has Hydras, he's throwing down 4 spores at a time, and the Hive is done. Vipers are on the way.
Vipers are on the way, looking to get those Parabombs out. Hydralisks, who even needs Hydralisks? It's all about turning them into Lurkers. Parabomb is the only anti-air you need, really.
Exactly, like Parasitic Bomb, like they just do so well against these Mutalists, and now Armani, he's gonna have to dance. He's gonna have to dance like crazy around like the spellcaster units of Solar here, and so far he's done a decent job. Again, it takes a little bit for these Vipers to suck on some energy and get what they need.
Yeah, and I mean, Armani, he's trying to knight as much as he can. Taking out the buildings that Vipers need to get that energy from, but yeah, Solar already on top of those on that.
And there we go. The hatchery has been taken out, and yeah, the Mutalists, they're actually finding some damage done. Where are the Vipers?
That is what I want to know.
There they are. They're going in.
Right now. They're coming in. Parabombs. One of the Mutalists, but an amazing split here from Armani. Identifies which the afflicted, Mutalists were, and if he can dive on top of these Vipers, I don't think there's a lot more anti-air left here for Armani.
Yeah, exactly. Like, these Mutalists, despite the power bombs, like the splits were just so good, able to pull some of them away, and Armani, he's just doing so much with these Mutalists, buying so much time, keeping Solar busy on his side of the map, while Armani is finally able to reestablish his bases and get maxed out himself.
Yeah, he's actually ahead now in terms of that economy. We'll have to still be a little bit worried about this massive Roach Ravager Lurker army coming his way. But if he can, as long as he's prepared for it, as long as he can set up a concave, he should be in a decent position. Biles are trying to land right now. I'm keeping my eye on these Vipers right now, late. Gotta see what they can get done.
Exactly. Again, there's Solar. He does have the advantage. He does have these workers here to support his army. Armani quite behind. Like, again, his hive was incredibly late. He finally has his own lurker den, but still no Hydras.
Indeed, he does not. And it is starting to look very, very rough for a blue Terran player.
Yeah,
some good biles, but...
Like, honestly, like, Armani, he just threw all his Mulists away. Like, his Mulists actually could have been quite useful here on the defensive to try and poke and prod and, like, snipe off a couple of lurkers here and there. Kind of the same way you do against tanks in ZvT, but now all the Mulists are gone. Now it's just Roach Ravager here. Armani actually making more Roaches. Like, even though he has the Hydra Den, he's not opting to make any lurkers.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has a Hydra Den, but... Yeah, okay, he is actually getting adaptive talents.
Yeah, like he has the lurker den, like he just doesn't have any lurkers available to him. He's just making more and more Roach Ravager.
Indeed, he is, and now I think Solar is really starting to establish himself in front of Armani's base here. A couple of blinding clouds are actually going to hinder Solar a little bit, but doesn't matter too much. I don't think there's much that can really stop the red Zerg player right now. GG's called. Solar takes game number 1.
GG, and what a start to this best of 5 series. I mean, I love that, like, the two players, they had like different tech choices. You know, Armani, he did go for the Spire. Solar went straight into that, like, Infestation Pit and Hive. Again, like, that's the problem though, right? Like Solar, he got to that end game, like, army faster. Like, that's what you want in late game ZvZ. You want that Hydra, Lurker, Viper. Like, that's the ideal composition with all your upgrades. Armani, it took him a long time to get there because he invested in that Spire and in those Mutalisks.
Exactly, and I mean, credit to Solar as well. He was putting on a lot of pressure onto Armani. You know, denied a couple of upgrades here and there, really starting to really hurting the economy of Armani for a while. But yeah, I think it does go back to what you said. The Mutalisks could have been helpful, but they were very situational in what they could contribute.
Yeah, and I mean, I would say that Armani, he did well with the Mutas. Again, like, they did buy a lot of time, right? Like, they were like dancing around, you know, killing a couple of workers here and there, killing the hatchery as well to the north. So, like, he was like buying time with them, which was great, but he was just so far behind in terms of tech. Like, towards the end, he eventually caught up. Like, it took him a long time, but he got his hive and he got those lurker upgrades, but he never got to get those lurkers out, right? Like, it just, yeah.
And yeah, GG, well played. We're gonna be getting ready for game number 2 here. Both players actually listing the lobby. This game is no longer available.
Oh, and look at this. We are going to be getting into, I love it, they're not afraid of it. Game 2 is going to be on Submarine.
That's ZvZ on Submarine. What were we expecting?
Are they going to metagame each other? Like, someone's got to go 12 pool, right? Right?
Yeah, both just going to go 3 hatch before pool.
That's the thing. Like, we talk about Submarine, we talk about Eternal Empire, we talk about how, like, it's more prominent on Eternal Empire because it's a more common map. But we see that because it's so large, like, we see a lot of cheese on it because people don't really expect it, right? So then they do it. But then, like, you know, maybe you expect it, so you play safe as well. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. Because Submarine is the shortest map distance in the map pool, like, maybe it's too obvious to go for a 12 pool, so they don't go 12 pool. Instead, they go hatch first, right? Like, and they go, like, yeah, incredibly greedy. It can be weird.
Yeah. It really can, but I have to imagine that whatever they go for, they're both gonna do the same thing.
Ooh, you think so? You think so?
Just based off that previous game, maybe is my answer.
Yeah, we'll see.
That we shall, as we load into our ZvZ on Submarine, game number 2 of the Best of 5 Grand Finals.
Oh, yeah, and we'll see if they are mirrors once again, or, you know, if they've got a little bit their own spark.
They actually
here.
both have the same banner. Alright, and speaking of being mirrors, we are now looking at the player who looks at himself in the mirror a lot and is thinking, dang, that's some style. We're of course talking about the Red Zerg, spawning here in the top left-hand corner of the map, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Submarine LE. We're gonna be representing... Wait, hold on, I got a question for you, Light. Are you free?
Down in Africa.
He is going to be representing Africa Freaks, the most stylish player in all of StarCraft 2. It is Armani.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Submarine LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing KZ Gaming, KZG. It is Solar. Man, doing the same thing.
Right. Well, okay, let's not jump too quick. You know, they're both getting hatcheries. Solar's getting gas. Armani's getting gas. Wait, they're both opening up the same way, but you know, it's never too late for one of them to go for a Baneling Nest and the other to go for a Roachborn.
Yeah, and this is what I love, right? Both players, they open up on Submarine, they both just go hatch gas.
Yeah.
Right? That's all you gotta do. There's no early aggression, there's no early lings, you know, you need none of that.
They're calling each other's bluff there.
Exactly. This is great. This is what you want to see.
I dare you to 12 pool me on this map.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? Like, there's so many players that just have such good, like, drone defense. So even if you 12 pool on a map like this, like, man, you can just hold.
Yeah.
If you're good enough, you just do it.
Yeah, you can. Funnily enough, the attack of a drone does the same amount of damage as an attack from a Ling, but a lot less DPS since it's slower.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see, you know, if any of these players are going to be the aggressor. Again, you know, we could see something crazy like an Evo thrown down earlier, or a Baneling Nest, or something along those lines. So far, they're both just playing this out quite normally, you know, getting their speed at regular times, getting a decent amount of workers out. They've pulled out of gas as well, so nothing too crazy, as they are both going for their third hatchery at the same time. I said time. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, that's one of Soul's teammates there.
It is.
He is, yeah.
he is. So yeah, we're just kind of macroing up, getting our third bases situated and underway for both of these Zerg players. And Armani is the first to throw down his Baneling Nest.
I do enjoy it quite a bit. He knows that he's gonna have to, or rather, he knows what map he's on. He knows that he's gonna have to defend as well as he can, just in case there's a Ling flood. And speaking of which, Solar with the 16 Lings coming out, really looking to be the aggressor here. We are not having the same game or a mirror game as Solar. Gonna go for a Roachborn transition out of this. He is just really looking to punish this third base of Armani, and then go into more of a macro game.
Yeah, we've got a massive Ling flood coming across the map from Solar. Armani, though, in a couple of seconds, there it is, the Baneling Nest has finished up, so he can morph a couple of defensive Banelings. You have to be careful, though. He has a couple of Queens here as well, and he's going to try and hold on to that third base.
Exactly. I think the question will be, does he have enough Lings to do so? Solar really playing with fire there.
Oh my god, he's going to get the hatchery. If he focuses it down, he can just get it.
Yeah. Even if the Lings manage to make it out. There we go. The hatchery gets taken out. And Armani, unfortunately, a bit of a lost investment there in that third base.
Yeah, exactly. Like, unfortunately, that Baneling Nest was a little bit late. The Banelings, they were not morphed in time, and Solar takes a third, backs off, and now Solar, he's in such a good position right now because he's conserved his gas. He didn't get a Baneling Nest. He's going right into roaches.
Time to go for round 2 immediately. No, probably not.
I mean, he could. Yeah. He definitely could. He's going for it.
Yeah, he's got the roaches to tank the Baneling shots. Does have to worry about getting surrounded by the Lings of Armani, but I think that's something that that's something that I wouldn't expect Soul to mess up or not be able to do.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of Lings here, but the Banelings are here to help deal with those Lings. The Lings of Armani are going to try and surround the roaches.
And they do get a nice surround, but unfortunately those Banelings, a little bit of a misclick there and do explode entirely on top of the roaches. Solar really forcing his way in, but the defender's advantage is still really working to Armani's favor. Not enough though, as these queens run out of transfuse energy and the Ling count gets really thinned out.
Yeah, but that defender's advantage is kicking in for Armani. More Lings are coming out of these eggs as well as roaches, and it looks like Armani may be able to hold, but Solar, he's not stopping. He's still rallying across the map.
Able to hold here.
Oh my god, the Ravagers finishes. Both Ravagers finish.
Jesus, as does the rest of the Ling Flood. Once again, no more energy for Transfuse on top of these queens. Armani got a couple of roaches on him, but no Ravagers, and yeah, definitely nowhere near enough. Solar really winning the positional battle right now, but we'll have to back off.
Yeah, but the thing is, the damage has already been done. Like, the third base of Armani went down. All the queens went down as well. I mean, the third base, it was remade, but Solar, he's trying to put a stop to that.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that Solar decided to go for the third base once again instead of really punishing the natural mineral line. But I guess he just doesn't want he just doesn't want Armani to have production, which is really important in in this stage of ZvZ.
Yeah. And all the rushes go down. Like, again, Solar, he's going to be able to take out this third base.
GG's call. Solar once again on match point.
And once again, Solar showing us that, especially in ZvZ, like, you want to be the aggressor. Like, it's so much more difficult being the defender in that situation. And, like, as we saw, like, you slip up a little bit, the bailings are a little bit too late, your third goes down. Especially on Submarine. That's the thing, right? Like, on a map like Submarine, that bailingness timing is pretty normal. Like, you should have your bailings out in time. But because the rush distance is so much smaller, like the lings are already there, and you just don't have it in time.
Exactly. You have to be a lot more strategic with your bailingness there. I think it's either you get it a bit earlier or you
make more lings.
Yeah, or you make more lings. And yeah, I think it just really does come down to make more lings. I mean, you could try to like morph the bailings in a strategic position so that immediately when they pop, the lings go down. But I don't think that's as reliable as just producing more lings and cutting drones.
Yeah, exactly. Like that opener from Armani on another map, it would be perfectly fine. It's just a couple of seconds. Like the lings get there earlier on Submarine, and a couple of seconds is all it takes, right? That's kind of what it comes down to in a game like StarCraft.
Exactly. Does a lot of it does really come down to these sort of split-second decisions and little mistakes compounding over time.
Yeah, and with that, Solar, he's already on match points. Armani, he needs to reverse sweep here, and oh my god, I don't know. This is a tough ask.
It really is. So if you're looking for more games of StarCraft here, and or just a reverse sweep for our fashionable boy, you're gonna have to send all your energy to Armani, or to Special, who will give it to Armani.
Yes, as of course, Armani and Special are roommates. They are currently living together in Seoul, Korea. So yeah, give your energy to Juanito, so you can hopefully give it to Armani.
And speaking of Juanito, I'm sure how to segue from that. We are now on Pillars of Gold, LE, holding up the Golden Wall, LE. Protecting the Eternal Empire, LE, otherwise known as the Land of Submarines, as that is where the LE submarines are at. In the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner of the map, the Red Zerg player, already on match point. One more map to win this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if he wins this, he will be once again tied with Zest for most amount of ESL Open Cup Asia wins. Could be wrong there. Regardless,
I have to look into that.
Alright, he is going to be representing KyZ Gaming, KZG. We have Solar. It's...
Uh-oh. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold, LE. We have the South Korean Zerg player currently representing Afrika Freaks, as well as going for a 13-12. We have Armani.
Why not? On a map like Pillars of Gold.
Exactly, and fun fact, at the moment, currently both Solar and Zest are tied at 5 wins each.
Ah, there we go. It's coming back to me, because I remember we didn't have a nickname for Solar. We just called him the guy with the most ESL Open Cup Asia wins.
Yeah, not anymore. I mean, technically he does. He's tied at the moment. If he takes this win, he will be the #1, taking that from Zest. And yeah, we'll see how Armani does here as I'm quickly checking. So Solar, he actually hasn't spotted this. Now he has. The Overlords have spotted the Lings. The Lings, they're coming across the map, and Solar now knows that it was an early pull.
Indeed, he does. This drone kind of scrambling to figure out what to build right now. The natural base wasn't cancelled.
Yeah, and with that drone, he was actually checking the edge of his base to see if there were any spines. Along with this, as there are spine variants of like 13-12s or early pools, so he does confirm that there's just Lings here, but, you know, the Lings of Armani, he is already here in the main mineral line, dealing some damage.
Yeah, Bailing that's going to be finishing up behind that, so we will be seeing some Bailings coming out here as well. And, you know, we talk about players who have really good drone drilling and drone defense. I feel like our Solar is one of them. But you can't really drone drill against Banelings, can you?
Yeah, definitely. And now Link speed is kicked in as well, so these Lings of Armani should be able to take out the ones of Soul. Yeah, nice Baneling connection, able to take out all the Lings, and now one Baneling is left. No focus fire, so the Baneling is still alive.
It is. The Queen's trying to take it out, but it's out off creep, and it's starting to get surrounded by these Lings. Queen gets taken out, and with that, it's starting to look worse and worse for our red Zerg player. But again, he is known for his known to be pretty good at drone drilling. Solar is. Exactly. So with the spine, he should be able to hold his main base, but I'm not sure about the natural.
We'll see. I mean, the spine, it will be able to take out some of these bases, but the bases already here.
The spine is not borrowed, but a very good split with these drones. But the spine does get taken out by the Lings, and this is looking rougher and rougher. I mean, Solar's got some pretty good Bailing snipes, but is it going to be enough?
It's hard to say. There's still 2 Banelings here, but only 3 Lings for Armani. So Solar, as soon as that Queen popped out, he has held his main.
Wow. Wow, that's all I gotta say about that one, Light.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't over quite yet. Again, there's only 1 Queen. A second Queen is in production, and you need 2 Queens to hold the ramp. And Armani, he's still sending more and more Lings across. So Armani, he could still snowball this.
Well, that's some real good body blocking, and with that, he was able to snipe out another Baneling. But with that, the Queen gets around once more. GG is called. Armani puts a point on the board.
GG, just like that. Again, it's so difficult with 1 Queen to hold on. The Baneling connections were really good for Armani. He didn't really kill many drones, but he continued to trade efficiently against the Lings, and the Lings of Armani were able to just, you know, take that advantage and just kill all the Queens, kill a handful of drones, enough to take the win.
Yeah, very much so. I think my main takeaway from that game, Light, is when they do different openings, Armani is favored.
I mean, sometimes. You can definitely argue that they did different openings on Submarine, but
they did. Even if it was like, the end of the opening, that was different.
It was really nicely done by Armani, fighting back on Pillars of Gold, and now we are getting into another map that you can be pretty aggressive on. We are getting into Death Aura.
LE.
I was hoping that the map would load a little bit faster and not stagnate and stop here, so it would be nice.
Well, it's a bit more. Well, you know, it's a bit more menacing, isn't it? It has a bit of a loading time. But speaking of menacing, we are now on Death Aura. LE, the map with all them speed zones. In the bottom right hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom right hand corner map, we have the Red Zerg player. Coming out from the land of South Korea, he is looking to once more overtake his rival Zest in terms of Open Cup Asia wins, or championships I should say, representing KZ Gaming, KZG. We have Solar.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player, currently not 12 pooling, looking to play this out pretty standardly, representing Afrika Freaks. It is Armani.
Yeah, I guess it would be too obvious on Death Aura, isn't it?
Yeah, again, like, this is another, like, because of these speed zones, like, it isn't anywhere near as close as Submarine, but, like, you can still be fairly aggressive on this map. But, yeah, in saying that, though, I think this time, both players, pretty standard.
Yeah, I think if you're going to be aggressive on Death Aura, I think it's more circumstantial, right? It's based on, you know, if you've played a series already, and, or if you're in the middle of the series, and, you know, you've kind of identified how your opponent likes to open up or whatnot, and normally aggression wouldn't work out, but in this specific map, maybe... what am I trying to say, like...
I mean, I would say that typically in a series you don't want to do the same thing 2 games in a row.
Yeah,
so
that's
like
fair.
we just saw Armani do a 13-12, like doing it
Yes.
again, like oof.
Yeah, what I mean about Def Aura though is that because of where the speed zones are located and because of how symmetrical everything really is, I feel like there's a little bit of a trade-off, isn't there? If you
Yeah,
decide
it
to go
definitely does
aggressive.
depend. Yeah, I would say that like the aggressor has the advantage because of those speed zones, and it also like affects units in different ways. Like if you, I don't know if you've seen, but roaches going through those speed zones, like that's
They go
a sight
zoom.
to behold. they go
Especially
zoom,
if they have
mate.
Guile.
Oh my god.
Just gotta go fast.
Just gotta go fast. So yeah, like it does affect units in different ways, and it does affect like the interactions of different units as well. So there's a lot of potential to say the least. But so far, neither player being incredibly aggressive. Solar getting down his Baneling Nest a little bit faster, but again, so is Armani a little bit slower. Yeah, again, nothing too out of the ordinary so far.
Yeah, once again referring to that very standard mirrored openings that both players have done.
Yeah, pretty much. And it kind of comes down to like who's the first player to, you know, stop droning and make a big wave of lings to try and apply pressure to the third base, or who's the first player to, you know, throw down a spire or work on their lair. That's kind of the things that we're looking at the moment. As Solar, he is already getting down an Evo chamber, but so is Armani. Again, this time Armani, he's a little bit slower when it comes to his buildings. Not too far behind though, just a couple of seconds. So yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, really working on just really working on trying to, you know, be safe, taking the information, drone up a bit. As, you know, as a trade-off of being slightly behind in the buildings. He is slightly ahead in the worker count.
Yeah, and one of the big differences, as we do see a couple of differences already, when it comes to
There we
Death Aura, you can be pretty greedy in terms of your buildings, because the opening at the natural, it's quite narrow. You only need 2 buildings and a queen to wall it off, so you can be a little bit cheeky and you can hide tech, or you can, you know, stop drone production, and it's a little bit more difficult for your opponent to scout this, because the lings, like, they're not getting in. Like, there's no way they're getting into the natural, let alone the main base. So
as demonstrated.
Yeah, as demonstrated, and at the moment, like, things for Armani are looking pretty normal. You know, there's an Evo chamber, it's upgrading, like, just like myself. So for all Solar knows is that there's like +1 range. You know, everything's the same. There's a mirror. He can't get into the natural. He doesn't know if his opponent has a Roach Warren or not.
No, he does not, and as you can see, Armani's not planning to go for that at all. +1 melee's coming out with that Spire. There we go. Mutiling Bane is going to be the name of the game right now.
And I love this. This is the big difference that we saw in the previous game. Like, getting +1 melee, it does so well for these things. It means that they can go toe-to-toe with the roaches in high enough numbers. They can just surround and completely melt, just shred those roaches. So yeah, this is a pretty interesting style. Again, this isn't like rushing to mutas, because there's a lot of players who would just skip on a lot of the ground and save all their gas for that Spire, for those mutalisks. Instead, Armani, he's going for this more macro-esque style with Lingbane Muta. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not quite a Spire switch as that's going to be the first tech of choice coming out, but yeah, I think I quite like it, like the sort of patient lair tech kind of style.
Yeah, and just checking the vision of Solar, he has spotted the Spire as he went in with 2 Overseers and a bunch of Changelings as well, just to make sure what he knows what Armani's going for, and now he's aware. Now he knows that there are Mutalisks on the way, immediately starts Spores and an Infestation Pit.
Yeah, that's going to help out a lot against the Mutalisks, particularly if he goes for Fungals or Parabombs. But is there enough to deal with this ground army? Honestly, Solar doesn't need too much here. A couple of good Baneling hits will take Armani's army out of commission, but that's a really nice snipe coming out here from our blue Zerg player.
Yeah, so far so good. Armani trading quite nicely against the Banelings, but he is forced back. He can't really commit quite yet. Oh, he could catch a couple of queens here if he does find the opportunity to sort of get us around.
So is able to get us around, but very good transfuses coming out. These queens do survive, and once again, Armani just cannot risk staying too close when there are that many Banelings out, and by that many, I mean literally just one.
Yeah, and really nicely done so far by Solar. He's able to spread his creep, connect all 4 of his bases, and he already had his spores done. He's able to move them here in position against the Mutalisk. So Solar, he's looking to kind of contain himself on these 4 bases, get the Infestation Pit, which just finished up, get into that hive, and get those Vipers out to deal with the Mutalisk. So that's kind of the game plan for Solar. Armani, though, he's going to try and be aggressive and try and stop that from happening.
Yeah, and already that was all pretty good engagement there. The Baneling did get sniped.
Oh.
And Armani really starting to collapse in like a waterfall, but once the reinforcements come in, I think he realizes he does not want to fight in these much of a narrow choke points.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good engagement, and it looked like he almost fought his way in and broke Solar. Solar, a lot of queens went down, but he just had enough to hold on. Armani he just wasn't too confident to just commit to that, especially because there were a couple of banelings defensively. But oh, he's gonna try and catch the queens again.
Once again, there's no energy for Transfuse. Another fantastic baneling snipe. And Armani started coming with banelings of his own, but Solar really making good use of the SimCity, really making good use of the choke points here. He's starting to run out of anti-air. The Mutalisk count is starting to get thinned out. 7 workers have gone down, and Solar is decently behind when it comes to that, but I feel like he's gotten a better army, though, and I mean, he's definitely gotten a better attack.
Yeah, I mean, right now, again, Solar, the game plan is just defend. He's just focusing on the defense. He's throwing down the spores. He's trying to get more queens as well. Hive is finishing up. Like, that's the game plan. Hive is done. But the Lings, they get into the main.
They do get into the main, and now Solar has to make a decision. How do I split my army? Already, a lot of these drones are starting to go down. I mean, Solar's not doing a bad job of, rebuilding them, so he's not too far behind.
Yeah. More and more Lings, they flood into the 3rd base. Banelings, actually 33 drones have gone down. Solar, like, he's been trying his best to defend on these 4 bases, and in Death Aura, like, you're in a nice, like, little snug corner, but he's still falling apart. Somehow Armani's finding ways in.
Well, he is creating opportunity for himself here. He knows what is Solar's base setup right now. It's really spread out. He cannot be in too many places at once, especially with these roaches. You can't really split them up too efficiently here. And now this should just about be it. Armani is crashing into just about everything. Solar.
Oh my god.
Just got like the Viper.
That. Yeah, and all the spores went down at the 4th base. Only 1 left. There it goes. It gets taken out. Oh, but the Vipers, they're ready. They're finally ready.
Yeah, here comes the parabombs. Once again, that's some nice splits, but I think there may be too many parabombs to deal with. One of the Vipers goes down. And Solar, honestly, I think he might just go all in from here. He's got a better army. Well, I say that, but these roaches are going down. GG's called. And Armani takes it to ace match.
Yeah, Armani, he has clawed his way back in. He started down 0-2. He has won 2 games in a row, and we are going all the way to game 5. And just touching on that game a little bit, Solar, he was completely picked apart. He had half the worker count of his opponent. Like, he had just lost so many drones. And you were talking about a better army. The only thing he had going for him were the Vipers. That was it. Like, surprisingly, like, typically when you go for this style, when you go for this, like, 4 base contain, you get Hydras, you get Lurkers. Like, the Lurkers help so much to stop the Ling Bane from dealing too much damage. And the Hydras, they also help with the anti-air. They support the queens and they support the spores. It does mean it takes a little bit longer to get the Vipers out, but it's worth it in the end. And Solar, he was just cutting corners.
Indeed, he was. I think he was a little bit too confident in his ability to break from that contain and go turn things back into a macro game. We're now going to be loading into our ace map, and what a map to end it on.
Oh boy.
As we spawn in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of Everdream. Heli ideally Edle. We do have our red Zerg player looking to close it out. He was up 2-0 in the Best of 5 series. He would have already won. But now, his life is on the line. Representing KZ Gaming, KZG, we have Solar. Battle.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Everdream LE. And of course he's doing it, it's on Everdream. There was a point in time where this was the shortest rush distance map in the map pool in the previous season. And here we are going for a 13-12. He is representing a Freak of Freaks. It is Armani.
What more did I expect here?
Oh my god! And I did want to quickly like touch on the previous game. We've seen it before, and I think it came to fruition in that game as well. Like Solar, he can sometimes be like very confident, just overconfident. I think that he saw what Armani was doing. He's like, I can just hold. I can just hold and take up the hive. Like I've got spores, I got queens, I got a handful of roaches. I'll be fine. He was not fine.
He wasn't. Yeah. But yeah, I think that is something that I kind of understand. You know, you want to just try to cut as many corners as you can. You know, in order to just play as efficiently as possible. But there are actually a lot of times, and oh. Did we drop?
No, we're good.
What?
Oh,
is it me?
No,
is it me?
Yaku, it could be you. It could be you if you were the.
My game froze again.
It is. No.
Why did it freeze in the last series?
F's in the chat. Everyone's spamming a meal, and it looks like, unfortunately, Yaku, unless you're somehow able to get back into this.
Well, my game crashed, so.
There we go. So you know what? I think my internet's okay. I'm going to try and stream on Discord.
All right. No, you're not right now.
Okay, nice. Can you see?
I'm getting in there. Starting to see, slowly but surely.
Okay, so can you see my Discord stream? Is the question I have to ask.
I can.
Okay, now you will need to set up a screen capture
Yep,
on OBS for
quick. It's gonna. Called this game. It's such a quick game as well. Screen capture. Where is it?
Yeah.
Display capture.
I'm just gonna quickly commentate this as we have Armani with these links here. They were able to sneak across the map, and Solar, unfortunately he didn't really get to see them in time. So the links of Armani, they are getting here into the main mineral line of Solar. Speed is finished up as well. Two Banelings being morphed in behind this, and I mean, to be fair, this time the defense of Solar is looking fairly decent. Nothing major has gone down. Really nice queen positioning so far behind the mineral line for Solar, but it looks like the queen will go down. The Banelings doing a really nice job at zoning out any links from helping out this queen. And Yaku, have you set up said scene?
I have. You don't have WCS on though.
I do not.
These overlays are a little awkward.
They are. It's okay. It's fine.
It is in fact fine, and yeah, right now it's looking like Solar is having a what's it called? A much better defense compared to that previous game. He saw this coming. He already has the spine out, but yeah, kind of like how it was previously. It looks like he will have to sack this natural base, and
that's fine. That's perfectly fine, because Armani, he's also on one base right now, and as you were pointing out, the spine is done, Baneliness is done as well. So Solar, he's looking in such a good position defensively.
Really is. That's a lot of drones have gone down though, but shouldn't matter too much. Solar isn't behind by a lot.
Oh, he isn't, but he has to be so careful. Armani has to be so careful with these things not to overcommit, and lose all these things to a Baneling shot.
Yeah, it is starting to get really, really worrisome right now for Armani. He's some pretty nice splits, but as you were saying, he had to be careful about not losing his Banelings. And Solar, he just lost his Banelings. These links start to come in and really chew away at this mineral line. Really nice drone drilling though coming out from Solar.
Yeah, and this is really what Armani needs to do. Again, he's still only on one base. More links are flooding across the map as well. Able to hide a Baneling as well in the corner. I love this from Armani. We'll see if Solar was able to recognize this as the links are coming in as well. Another queen goes down. There's only one queen left for Solar at the moment. And again, the Baneling is going to finish. It's going to be able to support these units.
That it will start to come in. Oh, will it get sniped by the queen though? Very nice target firing coming out from Solar.
Oh, incredibly well. And there is one Baneling, but it gets surrounded by Armani, so Armani denies that Baneling as well for Solar. And Armani, he's no longer all in.
No, he's not. This is such a close game. Armani. Now we're about to transition out of this. Armani taking his natural base.
Oh, exactly. He's taking his natural behind this, and again, no more Lings in production for Armani. Armani, he's ahead in the workers. Like, he's dealt the damage that he's needed. He's actually continuing to deal damage, slowly picking away at more units. But now it's Solar's turn to be aggressive.
Indeed, it is. He does have enough units to work with, but not after that.
Oh my god, just like that, the bailing for Solar was taken out. And Solar, he hasn't been mining any gas. He actually doesn't have enough money to start Link speed. Like, without Link speed, like, you can't be aggressive as Solar.
I know, you cannot, and I have a feeling that we're about to get into a situation where we're starting to go into the mid game. Armani gonna be way more favored.
Yeah, like in this situation, in Solar's situation, you can't afford to get Link speed at the moment. You have to skip it. You have to go right into roaches. Like, it's just too late. It's too much of an investment.
And speaking of an investment, Armani already thinking ahead. I think he knows that Solar, he does have the production for him. He does have the ability to get as many drones as he can. So he's just going straight into his lair. And I think he knows that. How dire of a situation Solar's in. As you said, he couldn't afford Link speed until now. He can't afford spores either.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm honestly incredibly surprised that Solar opted to go for Link speed. Like, this is not what I was expecting, and he's going into lair as well. Solar off of one gas. Okay, he's taking a couple more gases. Like, he could be going for Nidus. Again, Armani, his economy is looking so much better. Like, he could just be going straight into, there it is, 2 base, say it.
Spire play coming in from Armani.
2 base Muta on the way for Armani. Oh my god, you love to see an actual 2 base Muta. There is no third hatchery here. Oh, it's beautiful.
It really is, but the unfortunate thing right now for Armani is at least the lair timing did get scouted. Not sure about the gas count, but yeah, this was kind of meant to take Solar by surprise, but now he should have at least a suspicion of it. No spores up yet, though.
Oh yeah, no spores up yet, and Solar, now that Link speed for Solar has finished up, he's looking to be aggressive. Armani, he spots this with his own overlords, immediately throwing down the wall, but will this wall be enough? Solar is going to try and bust through.
Yeah, I think a wall might not be enough, but these bailings definitely should be. There's that Nidus coming up right now for Solar.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes, because again, Solar, what does he really have? He has a couple more queens, and defensively, like with these bailings, Armani, he should be able to hold as long as his control is on point.
That's definitely a questionable if. Nice bailing connections here right now for Solar. Armani ended up getting the better end of that trade, but honestly not by too much. And because Armani is so distracted here in the main base, you know, he has to deal with all these links. He cannot, yeah, he spots it, but a little bit too late, and I think he just couldn't afford the resources to spare there.
Oh my god, and Armani, yeah, and he's investing into Mutalis. I think this could be it. Like, he's throwing down spines, but it's too late.
Is it too late though? He just needs to survive for long enough. Another really good Balin connection right in there for Armani. The Lings in the natural base have just about been taken care of, but Solar, his queen stands strong. He's got the anti-air. He's even making spores in front of Armani in his base. Yeah. This is too much for Armani to deal with.
This is exactly what Solar had to do, and Armani, he underestimated Solar. Like, he didn't start spines until after the Nidus completed. Like, he needed the stack defense so much sooner. He thought that he could hold with what he had, and he had no idea that the Nidus was coming, and now he loses the lair, he loses his main base. He's gonna lose all his tech up here as well if he's not too careful. And Solar, like, he's just looking so good right now. He has the high ground.
And he can just start shelling away at these spines from a range.
And we're going to be in a weird situation because now the Mutalists, they're here across the map. There's no anti-air, but the Queens, they come back through the Nidus.
Yeah, that is really... I think a lot of people do forget that Nidus works both ways. It's not just a one-way trip there.
You know, he didn't forget. Solar didn't forget. As he was on top of that, he was able to come back home with his Queens, immediately popping on the other side as well. The spawning pool is going to be going down, but oh, this is a nice opportunity for the Spines to go back up into that high ground.
Indeed it is. Going to be a way for Armani to just try to reclaim ground right now, but Solar, he does see it. And look for a second like he was going to try to just deny that, but Yeah, he's just playing it out a lot more safely, a lot more intelligently.
Oof, and just like that, the spawning pool of Armani goes down. Was able to trade really well, with the Broodlings taking out a Baneling nest. But again, Armani, like, what does he do from here? He has no lair. He has a Spire. That's kind of all he really has going for him. To be fair, he did save the majority of his workers, so he's actually ahead in workers at the moment. It's just he's on one base.
Yeah, exactly. He has no way to make use of those extra workers. But I will say this about Armani. He's shown in the past that he can turn situations like this around just by surviving.
Yeah, definitely. He has shown us that in the past. And here we go. Solar's actually all sneaking in past everything, getting into the natural. And what is there here to defend? There's a single queen. Oh, nice Baneling connection, potentially.
Oh, wow. No, not quite. The queen even survives thanks to some help from the Mutalisks there.
Yeah, that was actually really surprising. The queen actually managed to stay alive. And again, the Mutalisk count is getting quite high for Armani.
And indeed it is. I mean, Solar, he's trying to catch up on that front right now. And he does have the resources and the production to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Solar, he has the Spire, he's working on his upgrades, which is something that Armani actually already has. So Solar, he's going to be catching up, and we're in a really odd situation where Solar, he's going into Mutas, but Armani, he definitely has the advantage at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, keywords there being the moment.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, Solar, he has a better economy, he's getting a third base as well. It's on Armani to try and stop this from going down, or going up, I should say.
Yeah, but it is also on Solar to prevent that from happening, and he is doing a fantastic job of that. He knows just how important getting that third base up is, just how important it is to catch up on that Mutalisk count.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Mutalisks, they do dive in, getting a couple of transferring workers there. Oh, a couple of Overlords. Like, any damage they can get done is just so valuable. And, oh, even diving on top of the Mutas.
Yeah, and Solar just not quite have the amount that he wants just yet. Nice little bits of transfuses. Armani should win this air war, but but I imagine he's just going to be chased away once the queens really come in.
That was such an expensive loss for Solar. One Mutalisk survives, and the Mutalisks are so expensive. They're 100 gas each. Like, each, like, Solar, he doesn't really have the economy. He can't really afford to make a trade like that.
Exactly. I think, Solar, he has a much better economy than Armani. Problem is, it's still not good enough to be able to waste his resources like that. Armani, with +1 flyer weapons, with the army supply lead, he is just continuing to try to keep Solar back, keep him down, and get a third base of his own and start to stabilize.
Exactly. You were talking about Solar having a much better economy. That's no longer the case. They're equal on workers. Like, they're equal on bases as well. Like, arguably, Armani's in a better position because of how aggressive he's being with these Mutalisks and just, killing workers here and there.
Even taking out that gas geyser. And again, because we're going into a Muta versus Muta game, taking out as much gas as possible is just one of the most important things that Armani can really do right now. He has that Muta lead. He wants to keep that Muta lead. No matter what he does.
Exactly. And that's why I love this.
No matter how he does it.
Yeah, and he's even working on +1 air defense as well. Like, that's going to help so much. He's going to maintain his upgrade lead in the skies. And meanwhile, what is like Solar working on? Like, he's trying to establish himself, but the queens are a little bit out of position. The Mutalisks of Armani just finding so much damage. Like, here and there, they just find like all these angles. They find a way in. And talking about finding a way in, and we got some Lings looking to sneak into the main base as well.
Yeah, this is a massive run by as the queens are preoccupied. Nowhere near enough defenses. GG is called. And just like that, Armani is going to be your ESL Open Cup Pro Tour Asia champion. Number 32.
Number 32. GG. Well played. Armani.
Like, can you keep your stream on just so we have audio?
Sure. Alright, hold on. There we go. There we go. So you can't reopen StarCraft period.
I'm not risking it after the
Okay.
crash.
Fair enough, fair enough. GG, well played. And you know what? Shout out to Discord, by the way. Like honestly, if it wasn't for
Yeah.
Discord and Discord sharing, I know it's not ideal. I know that the quality was probably a lot lower because we're streaming a stream, you
Yeah.
know, and then I have Australian internet, so like this my stream was probably not at the best quality either. But like again, if it wasn't for that, then we would have had to just radio cast, and we've been forced to do that in the past as well. It's not ideal.
No, it's not, especially not for the final map of a grand finals.
Yeah, yeah. It's such a shame. Honestly, when it comes to the VOD, there are things that we can do. There are things that I could do. I could try and like get the audio from here and like record the replay and try and salvage the VOD to make it a little bit more appealing. So yeah, that may be something that I look into as well. But like regardless, we were able to get through this. GG, well played, Armani. He went into this at a 2-0 deficit. Mate.
Yeah. Welcome to that reverse sweep.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my god. Just GG, well played, Armani, taking the 3 wins in a row and taking the entire series, denying that 6th win for Solar. And now Solar, he's still tied up 5 wins with Zest. There is no clear like champion there. And yes, Solar, he takes another win for himself. Oh, sorry, Armani.
Armani, yeah.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Oh my god. And with that, that's the 3rd win. You know, Armani, slowly but surely. You were talking about sleeping on him, like he's getting a couple of wins here and there.
Yeah, I mean, I think more than a couple at this point. This is his 3rd championship at the moment. Honestly, he could tie himself up with both Zest and Solar.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to see. We always talk about it, right? Like we're big fans of players like Armani, Bunny, Ragnarok. Like they may not be like the best of the best, but like they can take series, they can take games. As we just saw, he was able to take out Solar in the ZvZ, take out DRG as well in a ZvZ. Armani showing that at least in this matchup, he's looking quite in form.
Absolutely, indeed he is. Bit of a shame that we weren't able to cast that parting game, but you get a sense of his ZVP. But yeah, at least in the ZVZs, he is looking monstrous, as he said.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, again, congratulations to our champion as well as the semi-finalists. As a reminder, everyone who made it to the semis, they do get some money. So I think even parting, even though he forfeited his semi-final match, I think he's still walking away with something.
Yeah, that's the name of the game for a lot of these players who know that they're gonna have other commitments. Play until the semis, and then collect the check.
Yeah, pretty much. So really well done here. Also, of course, for those who are wondering, parting, he did forfeit as he does have commitments to the Chinese Team League, the Gold Series Chinese Team League. So yeah, that is something that he's currently competing in. Of course, he has to play for his team. The teams, of course, they're very important to these players. But congratulations again. We had an amazing ZvZ. What a comeback from Armani. I just love the way he was able to pull that together. It felt like at some point, especially in that game, Solar was holding quite well against the 13-12, but Armani was just able to deal just enough damage. That was great. That was beautiful.
It was. And
yeah.
I think to the schedule screen, that just about wraps us up here. As we will be live every day of the week this week. It's gonna be busy.
Yes, my watch begun 4 days ago. Oh god, I've been casting every day. I'm gonna be casting every day for the rest of time. And hopefully we'll be able to cast some time. But yeah, tomorrow you and I, Yaku, we'll see. Yaku, we will be casting the Hong Kong/Taiwan qualifier tomorrow. If you recall, you said tomorrow was probably the best one for you, qualifier number 1. And yeah, that will be the first, I would say the first of the DreamHack qualifiers, because technically we went through the ANZ qualifiers last
But
week.
I mean, that was ANZ champs. So.
Yeah, that was technically ANZ champs. But yeah, we will be covering all of the DreamHack qualifiers tomorrow. We have Taiwan, Hong Kong. Then after that, we will be getting into NA and Latin America. So if you're interested in some StarCraft, if you're interested in DreamHack, then this is the channel to follow, because we'll be live every single day, providing as much coverage as we can. Again, some of these may be subject to change. We will be casting all of the NA and Latin American ones for sure. When it comes to the Hong Kong / Taiwan, it does depend a little bit on which people are available. Of course, whether it's me and Yaku or Quirky as well, like we can mix and match. We can get a couple people, different like combinations, maybe even Jet. You know, I love casting with Jet. It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have options available to us when it comes to what kind of casters are going to be covering those events. But yeah, again, thanks everyone for watching. It's a bit of a shame that, you know, we had a couple of technical issues for the final game, but for the most part, like, the entire day was great. Like, following Dream in his TVP, like, just his tear, that was beautiful to see. That was amazing.
It really was. A little unfortunate that, you know, it seems like ZvZ is a little bit lacking, but man, I am inspired. I have a dream now.
Yeah, again, like, if you didn't get to see it, check out the VOD. Dream versus Hurricane, Dream versus Zest. They were beautiful TVPs.
That it was.
Yeah, and as you know, as we are going to be closing out the stream, Yaku of the Zaku, where can people find more of you?
Twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. I'm going to see if I have free time in between Wednesday to Friday to try to stream stuff. Twitter.com and Yakuzaku, ! Discord, and you go into the CranKy Ducklings Discord server with myself and many others. And that buy my shirts. Where can we find you, Light?
Light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. Normally, I would say that I regularly stream throughout the week on my Twitch channel, whether it's ladder or, you know, behind the scenes like graphics or video editing or scheduling. But this week, I don't think I'm gonna have enough time. We've got a lot of casts, and I like this morning I was live with Yoda casting Rebirth. I immediately fell asleep. I woke up and then I casted this.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna go to bed, and in the morning, actually, I could stream tomorrow. It kind of depends. We'll see. But yeah, it's been fun, and we've got a long week ahead of us. We have a long month ahead of us. Again, we have a lot planned this week. We have not even more, but just as much planned next week. There's just so much StarCraft going on, and if you're a fan of it, you know, check out this channel. Check out us here on Twitch. Hit that follow button. Check us out on YouTube. All of our VODs, every single one of them, is uploaded to YouTube. So if you're interested in any of this and it's not at the best time zone for you, just check out YouTube. It's all there. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's great. And with that, we will be saying goodbye, and you can stick around as we'll be raiding another StarCraft 2 streamer.
Yeah, I do recommend it.
Do you want
Put
to
in some emotes in there.
Yeah, who it could be. There's a certain Australian Zerg player currently streaming.
Is it Quirky? No, he plays Terra now.
It's Vivid.
Ah, alright. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And on Vivid's channel, I guess. Bye.
Ciao.